Hello scholars, welcome. Mr. Hinkle, we're back. Physical oceanography, going through the key topics, looking at the interactions, and in today's lecture, we'll discuss light. Analyze the characteristics of light and how they affect marine environments. Well, this light, ocean light, is light from the sun, sunlight, that penetrates the water surface and travels through the water column. So let's set this up. What are we talking about? Light. Where does that light come from? The sun. Where's that light going? Well, that light goes on land and water. Here's our marine provinces, the basis for understanding key topics in physical and chemical oceanography. So, light is important. Well, we live on land, meaning you and I. And so I often like to think about how ecosystems function on land and then apply my experiential knowledge into what might be happening in the ocean. And so on land, I know that light is important because I've got a bunch of plants in my house. And those plants need sunlight and water. And then every so often, I need to fertilize those plants because they deplete their soil, or I need to repot them, which is the same thing, to provide them nutrients. So I'm not eating my house plants, but I do like salad, and I am aware that consumers eat producers. Producers are plants. The same thing happens in the oceans. The oceans, we have microscopic algae called phytoplankton, which are the plants that are the bottom of the food web for marine ecosystems. Light availability and intensity drives photosynthesis. This is the name of the game for light. Light is essential for primary productivity, the behavior of marine organisms, and then it also allows for heat absorption, transportation, distribution, to ultimately support and regulate, buffer our global climate. Light from the sun is a wave from really, really short to really, really long. A lot of the short wave, the harmful UV radiation, is blocked out by the atmosphere. But then a lot of this light actually makes its way to the ocean. Now, what we see in the wavelengths of light is a very small pocket called visible light. And it is very specific wavelengths, unique wavelengths, that have the beautiful spectrum of color that we see through our eyes, from red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple, violet, indigo violet, Roy G. Biv. Remember that one? Red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, Roy G. Biv. That's how I remember it. Anyways, these are all wavelengths. These wavelengths reach the ocean. And then when they get to the ocean, what happens is the oceans begin to absorb various wavelengths. In the atmosphere, we have particles that will scatter light, giving it its blue color. So this is through the scattering or the reflection. In the oceans, it's the opposite. The oceans are blue, but it's because you have all of the other colors of light being absorbed, and the wavelength, this all goes down to wavelengths because solar energy travels as electromagnetic waves from the sun through the atmosphere into the oceans. Those waves, not ocean waves, electromagnetic waves, are absorbed, and the remaining wavelength that penetrates the deepest is blue. Blue and green, this way we have various colors. Some oceans are blue, some oceans are green, but you don't have red oceans, you don't have yellow oceans, you don't really have purple oceans. This is because of the absorption of the unique wavelengths of solar radiation. So, why are the oceans blue? Because all the other colors of visible light have been absorbed, and the remaining color left is blue. It's the last to be absorbed. Well, all of the light is absorbed relatively quickly. I'm going to erase this over here, giving us various zones. From about 0 meters to 200 meters, you have a lot of light. This is called the sunlight zone or the euphotic zone. And then light starts to diminish to about 1,000 meters where you have dim light or the dysphotic zone. I think that's with a Y, right? Yes, okay. It's good to double check your notes. And then below 1,000 meters, there's no more light left. It's called the aphotic zone. A is a prefix that means without. Without light, dim light. U is a prefix for good, good light. And so given this vertical structure of light in the ocean, we would expect photosynthesis to occur where? In the euphotic zone. Which means that down here in the aphotic zone, we need marine life to come up with their own kinds of adaptations. We'll get to that in a moment. Factors that affect light in the ocean. Well, water clarity. How much stuff is in the water? Seasons. The North Pole in the wintertime, there's no light whatsoever. Switches in the South Pole. Latitude. Oh, I think I just said latitude. Ha, okay. So I just explained latitude. North Pole versus the equator. Equators are hot, lots of light. The poles are cold. They have seasons of no light. They have seasons of all light. Seasons are going to be between the North Pole and the equator where the length of day actually decreases or increases. And then finally, last but not least, you've got weather. Weather. If the storms come in and it's cloudy and overcast, they're going to block the light out, thereby affecting how much light makes its way to the ocean, thereby affecting primary productivity, ocean temperature, density, so on and so forth, all of those good things. So, primary producers need light for photosynthesis. This is the basis of the food web. Photosynthesis requires sunlight, oxygen, organisms need nutrients, bing, bang, pow, you have reproduction and primary productivity. Certain organisms, these are zooplankton, know that at night they can come up near the surface to eat the phytoplankton, but during the day they don't want to get eaten by the fish, so they actually drop down below where the fish are up trying to find food, and then at night they come back up. So there is marine adaptations for various organisms in response to light, knowing when to hunt, when to hide, when to sleep, when to find food. I guess that would be hunt. Anyways, and then when you go into the aphotic zone, you have bioluminescence. And the name of the game here is finding food or not becoming food. So species will illuminate themselves in order for defensive characteristics, or they will illuminate themselves in order to attract prey so that they can eat in these deeper environments where the sun does not shine. So light is essential. The sun, thank goodness we have a sun that shines so brightly every single day. It's very dependable. I'm grateful for the sun. The sun is the primary source of life, or of energy, for all life on Earth. On land, in the oceans, it fuels primary productivity, and that primary productivity happens in the euphotic zone where light is abundantly available. It decreases pretty quick, and then below 1 kilometer, there's no more light available, causing marine organisms to niche, to find specific adaptations for these extreme environments. That's everything I got for ocean light. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again.